My chances of developing breast cancer have dropped from 87% to under 5%. I can tell my children that they don't need to fear they will lose me to breast cancer. I don't see the point of doing an interview unless you're going to share the things you learn in life and the mistakes you make. So to admit that I'm extremely human and have done some dark things I don't think makes me unusual or unusually dark. I think it actually is the right thing to do, and I'd like to think it's the nice thing to do. When you are an actor, you have to stay inside this world, but when you are with the crew, on the outside, you are in the dirt, working through all the issues. It's just a different way of working, and I think I preferred it. Not many people know this about me, but I'm a natural blonde. My hair went from light blonde naturally to a darker kind of blonde. My mother dyed my hair dark when I was a child, as I loved the look then. So I'm basically a natural blonde. If something inconveniences my children too much or takes me away from them, I won't do it. I've never lived my life in the opinion of others. I believe I'm a good person. I believe I'm a good mom. But that's for my kids to decide, not for the world. Our lifestyle was not in any way a negative. That was not the problem. That is and will remain one of the wonderful opportunities we are able to give our children. Maleficent has suffered abuse in the past, and there's a reason why she is now as furious as she is. And I think that children who have been outcast and abused in any way will relate to her. There's a beautiful side to her. She is not just a dark person. She has all these facets. And that is interesting. I seem to be getting a lot of things pushed my way that are strong women. It's like people see hackers and they send me offers to play tough women with guns, the kind who wear no bra and a little tank top. I'd like to play strong women who are also very feminine. Everything I do, I hope, is that I represent something, and I represent the right things to my children and give them the right sense of what they are capable of in the world as it should be seen. I've realized that being happy is a choice. You never want to rub anybody the wrong way or not be fun to be around, but you have to be happy. When I get logical and I don't trust my instincts, that's when I get in trouble. We will always be a family. Always. I'm just glad I was able to return to some of that innocence and beauty I had as a child when I started my own family, and my children brought me back some of that spirit. I want to work, then, as my kids get older, I want to have adventures. I want to visit all their countries, learn and live inside all their cultures. It's getting harder to make decisions to just want to do something to work. I'm trying to find things that are extremely challenging or mean something to me deeply. My mother was an earth mother and the nicest person in the world. There's certainly a side of me that isn't completely sane. Or completely even all the time. We all have our dark sides. I knew through the surgeries that he was on my side and that this wasn't something where I was gonna feel less of a woman, because my husband wasn't gonna let that happen. That's when it becomes a business. When you've been public a long time, when it's a career. You do certain films, you sell them. Every 3 months, I'll say, "Honey, I think I should learn how to cook." I don't see myself as beautiful, because I can see a lot of flaws. People have really odd opinions. They tell me I'm skinny, as if that's supposed to make me happy. I wanted to tell the story of Long Ung, who's a dear friend of mine. I wouldn't put myself forward to do a film like Changeling if I thought I couldn't pull people into a story because of all the other ways people see me. I imagine I will spend my days traveling from country to country to visit our children, who I expect will live around the world. I had a C-section, and I found it fascinating. I didn't find it a sacrifice, and I didn't find it a painful experience. I found it a fascinating miracle of what a body can do. My mother was a full-time mother. She didn't have much of her own career, her own life, her own experiences. Everything was for her children. I will never be as good a mother as she was. She was just grace incarnate. She was the most generous, loving. She's better than me. I think all women go through periods where we hate this about ourselves. We don't like that. It's great to get to a place where you dismiss anything you're worried about. I find flaws attractive. I find scars attractive. I went through a period when I felt my film characters were having more fun than I was. It might partly explain why I ended up tattooed or doing certain extreme things in my life. Maleficent was always so elegant. She always was in control. And to play her was difficult. I worked on my voice a lot. She's bigger than me. She's on a different level of performance that I have never done. I've played real people before, but I never knew them. I'm doing more of my UN work and doing the African Union Summit and things like that. I became an actress because my mom wanted me to become an actress. It took me until my mid-30s to realize I actually didn't. I actually wanted to write and direct and be more involved in politics and humanitarian issues. I'm terrible at reading scripts. I love to read, and I hate reading scripts. Like every parent, when you start your family, your life completely changes. And you completely live for someone else. I find that the most extraordinary thing. Your life is handed over to someone else. From that moment on, they come first in every choice you make. It's the most wonderful thing. I grew up as this very carefree, happy kid, then things turned darker for me. Maybe it was because I saw that the world wasn't as happy a place as I had hoped it would be for me. I don't let a lot of reporters meet my children. I didn't die young. So I am very lucky. There are other artists and people that didn't survive certain things. People can imagine that I did the most dangerous, and I did the worst. For many reasons, I shouldn't be here. Brad and I have never wanted our kids to be actors, but we also want them to be around film and be a part of mommy and daddy's life, and for it not to be kept from them, either. We just want them to have a good, healthy relationship with it. I get impatient with people working on a film that have their head in their hands like it's the most complicated thing in the world. It was weird to be married, you kind of lose your identity. You're suddenly somebody's wife. And you're like, oh, I'm half of a couple now. I've lost me. To be in any way a positive contribution, that's all anybody wants to be. It's all I've ever wanted to be. I wanted to be an artist, be a mother. You want to feel that in your life you've been of use, in whatever way that comes out. All the kids are learning different languages. I asked them what languages they wanted to learn, and she is learning Khmer, which is a Cambodian language, Pax is focusing on Vietnamese, Mad has taken to German and Russian, Zed is speaking French, Vivienne really wanted to learn Arabic, and Knox is learning sign language. I don't want people saying, should we get a female director? I want to hear, should we get a great director for this movie? If you're going to spend 2 years of your life on something, it has to matter to you, you have to be passionate about it. I was very worried about my mother, growing up, a lot. I do not want my children to be worried about me. My children love Maleficent's voice, so they always make me do it at home. It is a joy to be an artist, but it doesn't mean very much unless that work is somehow useful in some way and contributes to others. I feel matured in a way that I'm happy about. I'm at this other stage in my life, and it's not a bad thing at all. I never thought I'd have children, I never thought I'd be in love, I never thought I'd meet the right person. Having come from a broken home, you kind of accept that certain things feel like a fairy tale, and you just don't look for them. It's hard to be clear about who you are when you are carrying around a bunch of baggage from the past. I've learned to let go and move more quickly into the next place. I take my kids to school. And if I go to work, I go to work, and they visit me on set. I come home. I have dinner with my family. I have breakfast with my family. I have a very solid, very warm home. It's probably not an accident that the films that I care about happen to be about issues that matter to me, stories that I want to tell. I tend not to look back and dwell on a project once it is finished. My mom, she was a very, very soft woman. It was hard for her to yell or even curse. But when it came to fighting for her kids, she found a strength she didn't always know she had. I notice that my characters go out to dinner and have fun and take these great trips, but I spend so much time on their lives, I don't have much of a personal life of my own. I have to sort of remember to fill out that little notebook on me. I always wanted a great love affair, something that feels big and full, really honest, and enough. No moment should feel slight, false, or a little off. For me, it had to be everything. My mom always wanted me to be an actor. And I started going to theatre and going on auditions young. None of my kids want to be actors. They are actually very interested in being musicians. I think they like the process of film from the outside. Mad is interested in editing. Pax loves music and DJing. Sadly, of course, there